welcome back to my channel. My name's Genevieve. I'm a chiropractor in the UK West Midlands, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate my go-to stretch for neck pain, headaches, shoulder tension across the top here. This is a particularly good stretch because it targets a few different muscles around the neck and shoulder region, which can be a common cause of getting that sort of tension, headaches as well. So a lot of the time when you develop knots, they can become active trigger points, which can refer pain into the head and be a common cause of headaches. These headaches are usually not that responsive to painkillers either. So if you are a chronic sufferer of neck tension and headaches, then you may want to give this stretch a go. Before I get into the neck stretch, I just wanted to talk about these fabulous pieces of equipment. I do strongly recommend these. This isn't like a sponsored video or anything, but these I was about to call it a Theragun. It's not a Theragun. Theragun is a particular brand, a massage gun. They're all over Amazon. There's so many different brands. They are really, really great things to have. So if you are someone who suffers with knots, trigger points, not just around the neck and the shoulders, in the glutes, in the lower back, in the thighs, sports after gym workout sessions, this can really improve the time frame in which you'll sort of recover from like workout DOMs. These are really, really handy things to have. I have so many patients ask me, you know, where do I get my hands on one of these? They're amazing. And they are really not that expensive. Now, you don't have to get the Theragun brand. So I almost called this a Theragun. It's not. Theragun is a particular brand. The difference between the two is the price. So this one I think cost me about £50. It wasn't very expensive at all. It's been used over the past 2 years, all day, almost every day. It's never failed once. It's got the same amount of power as it did when I bought it. It needs charging maybe once every 2 weeks, and it's still going strong, and it cost me £50. It was a very good investment. I do also have the Thumper Maxi Pro as well, which is like a big two-handed beast of a machine, which I'll use if there's like a massive amount of tension across the back that needs releasing. But for pinpoint and for those areas that have got like bony bits around them, like the shoulder, the rotator cuff, smaller muscle groups, pinpoint trigger points, these massage guns are really, really great. Now, I don't think that you need to get the Theragun. I've never owned a Theragun. I've never used a Theragun, but I just don't see what could possibly be the difference between the two that warrants that sort of price point. The Theraguns cost in the hundreds of pounds. Depending on which model you get, they cost hundreds of pounds. And there are other brands as well, like the Hypervolt ones. They're also a few £100s. I just don't see what it is that gun does that's so much better than this one that warrants that different price point. So don't feel that you have to go out and get like the several hundreds of pounds worth of gun. I don't think that you do. As I say, I've never used one, so maybe it is absolutely amazing. But maybe not. And this one I do think is really great. I can't give you the link for this one, which I bought on Amazon, this exact one, because I had a look and I don't think it's being sold anymore. But I am about to buy another one because we're going to start offering sort of home visits at the clinic, and I'm going to need one to take with me. So if you are interested in the one that I'm particularly going to get, then I can pop a link to that one in the description below. I do get a lot of patients asking me, which one should I get? Can you send me a link? Can you have a look? Can you tell me which one to get? Because there are hundreds of them. They're really great to have at home. You can self-treat. Certainly if you're someone who gets trigger points in your upper traps and your glutes, your thighs, you can treat yourself, or if you've got like a very loving partner, you can have them massage your back with one of these. They usually, pretty much all of them I think, will come in a little box, a kit, with several different heads on it. So you've got different heads for different things. Like this little U-shaped one is for running up and down the spine and the neck. You've got your sort of pinpoint one here for sort of like really focused trigger points, and then you've got your sort of like more comfortable, this is the one I use the most, the more comfortable like foam top head. They'll all have different heads on them. You've got flat top ones as well, and they usually all come with a range of different heads. So yeah, these are a really great investment to have. They're not very expensive. Don't hesitate, just get one. Now, the most important thing to remember about stretches, and this is all stretches, not just the neck and shoulder stretch that I'm going to show you today, is little and often is best. You don't want to be really stretching your muscles to the absolute max and trying to hold that stretch for like 5-10 minutes at a time. It's not really going to do anything. In fact, it's more likely to risk injuring an area or causing more problems than it is to actually cause the muscle to sort of loosen and relax. Muscles have a muscle memory, which means that even if you were to be able to stretch it out to the max and get it all at its maximum length, within a couple of hours it's going to try and shorten and tighten back up again. Because it's an elastic tissue, if you stretch it out, it's going to try and sling back. If you are someone who's been suffering from neck pain, tension, trigger points in the neck and shoulder region, your neck muscles normal is short and tight. And if you've got knots and trigger points, there's going to be knots in there as well, like bundles of muscle fibre that are chronically like really tight, and the muscle is not able to fully like contract and relax properly. So what you're trying to do with the stretches is to encourage more elasticity and length into the muscle, but it has to be encouraging the muscle to do that. You don't want to just pull it as tight as you can and hold it for as long as you can, because you might risk doing tearing in some of the muscle fibers because you've just shocked them into a completely different position. Because of the position of the neck as well, you could risk spasming in the neck muscles, you could risk pinching of capsules, pinching of nerves. So don't try and like really wrench your neck to the side and hold that position for as long as possible. It's not actually going to help you. Because no matter how long you manage to get the muscle, it is still going to rebound because it's memorized that short tight position as being normal. So having it here is just going to shorten back up again. Within a couple of hours, it will shorten back up again. No matter how long you stretch it for, no matter how much you stretch it, it's still going to shorten and tighten back up within a few hours. So little and often is best. You're going to stretch it a little bit, and as it starts to try and shorten back up again, you go and you stretch it again, and then it tries to shorten. You keep encouraging it to get longer and more flexible and more supple until eventually this becomes the new norm and not this. Yeah? So little and often is best. That goes for all stretches. Yeah, so let's get into this stretch. So this is a seated stretch. It's best done on a chair, like a dining room chair, or something that you can sort of hook your fingers under the edge. You don't want like a chair with arms or anything. So it's really handy to do if you are an office worker, desk-based worker, working from home, anything like that. But you want like a dining room chair that you can hook your fingers under. This one's quite wide for me, so I'm just gonna shuffle over so that I can reach the underside of the chair. So if I'm going to stretch this side of my upper traps, so this is a 3-part stretch, so it's going to target the upper traps, it's going to target the levator scapula, which is one that runs from the top of the neck. You've got these 2 little channels that run either side of the center of your spine. It sort of kind of sits in there, runs down the back of the neck and attaches onto the shoulder blades as well. And then it also targets the anterior scalene muscles, which are the ones that run down the front. These ones can get tight and they can grab onto nerves and vessels and cause irritation into the arms as well. So yeah, it's a 3-point stretch. I'm going to start off with the upper traps, which is the muscle that runs straight across the top. So you hook your fingers underneath the chair. Now you don't want to pull up on the chair, because if you pull up on the chair, then you are going to activate these muscles. You don't want to activate them. You just want to have enough pressure that as you start to lean over, you know, if you were to let go, you'd fall. Don't be pulling on it so that you're trying to pull yourself back. It's just literally the ends, like parts of your fingers, just hook under the base of the chair, and then you're just gonna lean and let your head just hang. Like gravity is going to do its thing, and you're just going to let it hang straight out to the side. Now if you want to get a little bit more of a stretch, then you can rest your hand on your head so that the weight of your arm just adds a little bit to gravity as well, and pulls on the neck muscle a little bit more. But don't be tempted to pull your neck to the side. If you overstretch it, there is a real risk that when you try to come back to normal, the muscles will sort of have like a sudden rebound effect, and it might pinch capsules, nerves, spasm, tear. don't try and wrench your neck to the side. Literally, it's just, everything is relaxed. The only thing that's like keeping you in this position are these end parts of your fingers, okay? You're just literally letting the weight of your arm, the weight of your head just hang, okay? So you're gonna hold this stretch for 30 seconds, no more than that. You can come back to neutral, you sort of like move your neck gently around, and you can go again, maybe another couple of times for 30 seconds. And then you're going to be wanting to do these stretches like every hour or two for that frequency. So that one in particular is for the upper traps. Now, to target the levator scapula, which is the one that runs down the back, all you have to do is change the angle of your head. So again, finger underneath the under the base of the chair, flop over. Okay, so right now this is where I would be if I was going to stretch out the traps. Now, if I want to target the levator scapula, then all I need to do is rotate my head, tuck it, slightly tucking my chin in, as if I'm just going to look over there somewhere. So I'm sort of targeting my chin, aiming that way. And what you will feel is that the angle of the stretch will literally move from across the traps, and it will start moving round until you get that stretch going down the back of your neck towards your shoulder blade. That's stretching your levator scapula. Now, same thing, you can add a bit of an extra stretch by adding the weight of your hand on your head, but don't start pulling on your head and your neck. Again, 30 seconds, no more than that really. Come back to neutral, you know, move it around a little bit, and then you can go again for another couple of times if you want to. Now, to target the anterior scalenes, which are the muscles that run down the front, same sort of stretch again. So fingers under the chair, okay? Lean over to the side, and then you're going to start trying to look over your opposite shoulder. Now, you want to sort of be rotating away from this side, but also leaning your head back slightly. Now, you're not going to get very far with this one in terms of how much you move your head and neck before you start to feel that stretching, and you don't want to be holding this one for 30 seconds. You'll probably find that when you hold, when you get to this stretch, you'll feel stretching all down here. Sometimes if it's really tight, you'll feel the stretch going all the way into your arm, but don't hold it for too long, because when you come back to normal, you'll find that you might get a little bit dizzy, some black spots maybe. Don't forget there are vessels and things in there as well, so you don't want to risk making yourself feel a little bit dizzy because you've stretched and compressed like vessels and important tubes in the front of the neck. So you literally just, for this particular stretch, you lean away, you lean back, cross over. I'm feeling a stretch now, 1, 2, 3, moving back, taking the pressure off. I'm not going to come all the way back to neutral. I'm just going to come to about here. I can feel it sort of like relaxing off again. So this one is different to the other two in that the other two, you sort of like, you take it out, you hold it 30 seconds, you come back, you can hold it for a little bit longer. The one on the front, you're literally going to do more of a very repetitive stretch. So you're only holding it for a few seconds. You take it to the point where you feel the stretch, count to 3, and then slowly bringing it back. And then you don't have to come all the way back to neutral, just sort of looking diagonally in front of you is fine. And then you're going to do again, and I do sort of like 8 to 12 of these stretches gently, and you're going to obviously do both sides as well. So that's it, guys. That is my go-to stretch for releasing tension in the neck and shoulder region. So if you are a chronic sufferer of neck pain, headaches, give this stretch a go. It really is a good stretch. Don't forget that little and often is best. You won't always have to do them hourly or every other hour, like forever. It's just until you manage to get that length and suppleness back into the muscle and create a new normal for the muscle. So yeah, little and often is best. It's more effective that way. Don't overstretch, don't stretch for too long. Just do it really, really frequently. If you've got any questions or any issues or anything, do leave me a comment down below. I do try to respond to everyone who's got any questions about the content in my videos. Otherwise, if you liked this video, then please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so that you can see my future videos. Bye for now.